Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 18 in season 3 of the May Contain Action podcast. I am joined, as always, by my co-host and now double dad, Paul. Paul's
Hey,
here.
I'm Paul. I'm Paul, and I'm double dad.
He's dad squared.
That's right.
Got two. Little Amelia.
That's right.
Correct?
Yeah, little Amelia, who is almost a week old. Yeah, almost
a week. Yeah,
almost a week. Oh yeah.
That explains why we didn't have an episode last week. If you were wondering, there was a baby.
Yeah,
and I think that is. There's not a lot of reasons we wouldn't have a show, but that is probably one of the top ones.
Yeah. I felt I did feel bad. I mean, I knew obviously I'm having a baby, but I was like, of course, like it was Ezra was the first reason that we didn't have the Back to the Future episode, and then it was
Amelia.
It was. After that, I was like, my kids are getting in the way of this podcast. So,
kids,
this is my bad.
They're the best.
Yeah, they're the best.
And
yes.
PM is also here, by the way. I didn't want to just move on. PM
hello. Not a father.
Not a father.
I can't talk about that. Yeah, so
not
a father. For what it's worth, PM,
yet.
I think you'd make a very nice father.
Or never. I don't know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess I technically am a father to 2 corgis, so I'll take that.
There you go. And I can tell you, as a father of 2, it's exactly the same. Our experience is the same. So, I want to give some credence out there to the pet owners.
Except for all the, the sleeping thing. I think that's a big one.
Yeah,
right?
The sleeping and the money and the general well-being.
Yeah, the money and
attitude
the fact that you can't leave them alone for 4 hours.
Yes. My dog also doesn't bark no at me for everything I say to it.
That's true. Mine does.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got the buttons, the little buttons. No, no,
it just barks. They just bark, just to bark, and I'm like, all right, that sounds good. Yeah. Voice your frustrations.
Yeah, really, the dog's being like, "You're a bitch" every time.
Bark, no, someone said that dogs only have one word, so like let them say it, right?
You know what? That's right. That's freaking right. They say it in slightly different tones, but it's one word.
Yeah,
and
freedom.
Yeah, and you just have to guess.
Exactly.
Just about guessing. Well, welcome to the show, guys. We're excited to cover a brand new movie today. It is a movie that is very, very, I think topical to the time, as the second one just came out. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know about a little movie from Prime Video, or that is Amazon Prime Video, called Roadhouse. It is a brand new movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, more ripped than any of us will ever be in our entire lives. It's something to behold. Also features Conor McGregor and Post Malone are in it. And there's also a crocodile. So it is a remake of the 80s classic with Patrick Swayze, where Jake Gyllenhaal plays that character. And I've watched it. It's a good time. And it came out today on Amazon Prime Video. So go check that thing out. I'm telling you, Conor McGregor punches all kinds of stuff. It's a spectacle, and the music's great too. So like the music's playing the whole time. It's a good time. Enjoy it. I believe Paul has it on the list too, Paul. So, you let me know what you think when you're done too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Me and the wife are going to sit down and watch it. I told her that old Jake Gyllenhaal was in it. She was like, yes. Yeah, I was like, I haven't even told you the synopsis. She was yes. Like, okay. All right.
Honestly, same. That guy's.
Yeah,
he's good. He's a good, and he continues to be good. I will say that. No spoilers, just does a good job. So, yeah, check that out. But today we have a different movie. It is Dune, and no, not the 1981 with all the miniatures and the weird David Bowie. We're talking, or no, not David Bowie. He was in other weird movies.
No, Sting.
Sting.
Yeah,
Sting actually is in the
Sting is in the original. Yeah.
That is, frankly, it's worth a watch just because.
Oh my gosh.
Something that you need to behold.
I watched one of those scenes recently, like a comparative scene from Dune 2 to the one that came out in 1989, right? 84, 89?
One of those.
One of those dates.
Years.
And
or the other
Lord,
any of those.
It's so bad. At one point, there's like 30 seconds of silence while people shuffle into a room. I'm like, what the hell is happening? You just hear footsteps?
Cut so long. Yeah.
So bad.
That. There's a lot of
so
that.
bad.
Though they did so much of that with like miniatures and zoom out. They actually did. It was kind of a crazy way they pulled a lot of the special effects off. But it's funny. It came out like 10 years after Star Wars, and it's like way worse.
Oh yes, yes.
Anyway, check that out. But that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about the new one with Timothy
Chalamet
and Zendaya, who hilariously here in the where I have in the cast, Zendaya is the only character who she has one name in real life, and then her character in the movie also only has one name.
Didn't have a last name? I thought she had a last name.
No.
Johnny?
Last
No.
name for Johnny. No, they don't say the last name the whole time.
Oh.
Most of them don't actually. So
yeah.
It's the names are kind of great in Dune. We'll get into that. But first, I had an idea and I want to do this and we used to do the game when we used to, interview people.
Sure.
And
yes,
I have a new game.
Okay.
And I feel like this game might be my best game ever. So each one of you're going to get 5 movies each. Okay. So we'll do the 5 movies and then go to the next person and then do our tally at the end. Or actually, no, I lied. We're going to go back and forth.
Okay.
1 for 1, 1 for 1. Okay. You're each going to get 5 movies.
Okay.
You're going to guess whether or not the budget for that movie was below or above An Emperor's New Groove. That is $100 million budget. So above or below. Okay. And then if you would like to go for a bonus point, you don't have to. But if you want to grab a bonus point,
okay,
you try to guess the budget itself. If you're within 10% either way, so like that little 20%, I'll do the math in my head. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. If you're within 10% of it either way, you get an additional point, which might put you over the edge if you're really confident in it. But I don't know how confident you're going to be because there's some tough ones.
Okay. Some tough ones
in here. All right. So who wants to go first?
PM, you want to take the lead on this one, dude?
Sure, yeah.
You freaking go first.
All right. PM, your first movie is Interstellar.
Oh, Lord.
Interstellar. Is it above An Emperor's New Groove or below?
Damn.
And can you guess what the budget is? Actually, I just lied. We're going to do 3 movies each because 5 is going to be a lot. So let's do 3.
Interstellar. I am going to go above, and I'm going to say barely above it. So I'm going to say 150.
Ooh.
A lot above it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess
like
in terms
half.
of like millions. Yeah.
So hilariously,
that's only half of An Emperor's New Groove that I went up above. So like, wait, what?
You got both points exactly, by the way. Not exactly. It was 165 million, which is exactly 10% more than what you said, which is pretty crazy. It's almost like you're cheating.
No.
2 points, 165 million for Interstellar. Congratulations, 2 points for PM.
Dang it. All right, here we
Paul,
go.
you should have gone first.
Stupid.
All right, Paul.
Yes.
Your movie is The Martian.
Son of a space movies, man.
Yeah, they're hard because you never know.
Is that not the prequel to Interstellar of Matt Damon's prequel?
I mean, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a sneaky good movie.
The Martian was very good movie. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have a question. Are we adjusting for inflation?
No.
All right.
At the time.
All right.
Bidenomics.
How many ice cream cones would this be worth? All right. Let's see. I'm gonna say, because it's really just like a cast of like 2 people, so they just had to pay Matt Damon. I'm gonna say it's less than An Emperor's New Groove, and I'm gonna say it was 89 million.
That was an honorable try. You were unfortunately incorrect on both accounts. No.
What?
No, you were very close on the budget. Actually, yes. The budget was 108 million.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
108. So there's
so
0
close.
for Paul. 2-0 PM. On to the next.
All right. I'll come back.
PM. Another space movie.
Come on.
Arrival.
What's Arrival?
It's the aliens come to Earth in the big egg thing. It's also directed by Denis Villeneuve, who did Dune.
Villeneuve.
And it also, I think, it won Movie of the Year.
I've never heard of this movie. When did it come out?
Arrival? Really?
2016. You serious? You should watch it because you'll really enjoy it.
Arrival.
This is really disappointing. How did I pick a
want
movie you
I
haven't
want to
seen?
Google it just because I want to see if I can see a photo of it, but I obviously don't want to spoil it.
Denis Villeneuve.
Um,
Denis Villeneuve. Okay, sorry.
it's
Go on.
made by the same guy who made Dune. You said correct?
Yes, Denis.
Denis.
I'm gonna go below because obviously it didn't do that well. I don't think the studio wanted it to be that big.
I haven't heard of it, so it didn't.
I haven't heard of it, so I don't think it was a good movie. I'm gonna go just below, and I'm gonna go 85 million.
You are correct on it being below, but it is 47 million.
Whoa!
Oh, so way below.
Yeah, way lower than.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was a garbage movie then. So I'm gonna
trying to do. All right, Paul.
Okay.
Arrival.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder. That makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the one with they were wearing the orange suits and she holds up the sign and people meme that into oblivion. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Paul.
Yeah.
Your movie
Okay.
is
Hit me.
The Social Network.
Gosh. Okay. Social Network. They had JT in that one. That was big. It was big for them. Expensive actor, I'd imagine. I'm gonna say that was there was a lot of sets. I think there's a lot of different. A long movie. I'm gonna say it was expensive. I'm gonna say it was 104 million, and it was more, obviously.
Wrong on both accounts. Only 40 million.
Son of a gun!
It looks
Yeah, I
like
would've gone the other way.
our friend
whatever,
PM is
PM.
going to take this one home, but we're going to do the last two movies really quickly. PM, your movie, Titanic.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah,
Because you got to think of the sets. The sets have to be.
I just said that.
Yes, but it's okay. So yours is different because the Social Network is like you just throw a bunch of green screens up and sit into a Silicon Valley office. And you don't have to go
Screens?
anywhere, right? Like they could have.
Oh,
and also,
my-
Justin Timberlake is not an expensive actor. He's pretty bad at acting, and so a lot of people can get him.
Yeah, but he's JT at the height of his popularity.
No.
Okay.
And it had really no one else at the time that really stood out. But anyways, Titanic. I'm gonna go over, and I'm gonna say it doubled.
200
the
mil?
budget. I'm gonna say 200 mil.
You're drunk.
It is over, and it is 200 mil.
I'm gonna frickin' punch my screen.
You got it exactly.
Boom. I just had a feeling that one had a massive budget with the score, the actors, the settings, how long the movie was, and then you have to think about when it was made, there wasn't this digital advancement in technology or easeability, and so everything
Which is why
was super
Emperor's New Groove
expensive.
so expensive.
It's just
Yeah.
like it's like the more I hear PM talk about it, the more furious I get about it. Okay, I don't need you to explain to me why it's more expensive.
I
PM,
understand.
like
All right.
you were on the set.
All right, Paul. I'll give you a one that
redeem
you
yourself here.
might have some information about
Stupid.
or remember something about it.
All right,
But the original Justice League, not the original Justice, sorry, the 2017 Justice League, the first one.
Snyder cut or not Snyder cut? The yeah. Did Josh Whedon take over for that one? Okay.
Yeah, I think Joss Whedon did the first.
Josh Sweden.
The quote unquote bad version, even though in my opinion neither one of them were very good. But.
Yeah, I watched that during the lockdown. It was like anything was good. I was just taking any new material I could get.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Power. I'm gonna say the original is more than 100 mil because holy green screen, and I'm gonna say it was 180 million.
Paul, you do get a point. It is more than 100 million, but it was between 300 and 350 million. They don't even know because that's how big of a shit show that movie was. There's a float of 50 million. They're like, eh!
There's a float of 50?
Yeah, there's literally not another one on this list has a range. This is the only movie. So, or maybe it means it's like 300 and then it was 350 for the Snyder. That could have been it too. But
what did it gross? Like what was the revenue? Do you know?
Not that much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think it made money. It might have broke even. If it did, it's a miracle.
Oh
They
my
tricked
gosh!
that many
Oh, they
people to go see
did.
it.
They did. Gross 229 in the U.S., 432
No way.
in other territories. Yeah, 661 million.
That trash ass movie made all over $250 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
2017.
It was probably when Avengers was like peaking, right? And so I think there was
sure.
this
Endgame was
burning
2019.
desire to watch all of these superhero movies.
Oh,
Right? So I
yeah.
think we were all like, "Oh, DC is going to be so good," and we
Mhm.
watched it and we were like, "This is terrible." Like, we're good. Well, we won't do this anymore.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Joss.
Yeah,
Joss,
fun time.
Joss. It's not Josh. It's Joss. Joss
Joss.
Whedon. Got it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
DC
Wow.
sucks.
What a nightmare.
Well, PM takes our first game, 6-1, 6-1 PM. Congratulations, PM, on your
Whatever, PM.
win. I know you feel
Domination.
Okay, whatever. You smell like cheese.
Expect nothing else from the winner
Delicious
over here.
cheddar.
Domination.
Sharp cheddar.
Oh my goodness. Sharp cheddar.
Paul, would you like to? We have our letterbox
Gouda.
reviews. Would you like to do them? Because I think they're great.
I would. I'd like to feel better about myself. All right. So, letterbox reviews for Dune 1. Loved it. Says Jeremiah's. He gave it, let's see, what is that? 4.5 stars? 4.5 stars from Letterboxd. Said, best movie about worms I've ever seen.
Astute.
Like that
Hell
one?
yeah, dude.
You like that one? All right.
Not the best one here, but it is good.
All right, 5 stars from Mr. 11111. Paul Atreides nuts. Let's go. What? Paul Atreides nuts.
That one got posted like 10 minutes before I searched for it. So I was like, this is going in there.
Paul
This is good.
Atreides nuts. I am 15. All right, that was good. Another 5-star review. I love when you leave your mouse cursor in the screen cap.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that. It's in 2 of them.
Just your mouse hovering over the word.
Always there.
Okay,
dude.
this one's
Make
from
sure I know.
Joe. Joe loved it. Give it 5 stars. He's got a great headshot photo of him at the Grammys.
No,
somehow.
that's Ryan Gosling.
That's Ryan. Oh, that's Ryan Gosling.
It is Ryan Gosling, yeah.
That's not even him. All right,
That's Ryan
I was
Gosling.
like, damn, that guy's attractive. Damn, Joe. All right. He said,
First of all, you like this, Trevor, I think, right?
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. We can see your like on this.
Is that my like?
oh yeah, that's your little heart.
The orange like.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't actually mean to do that. So maybe that's what I was doing when I clicked.
It only makes it better once Paul reads it to know that Trevor did like
Yeah.
this. So go
Okay,
ahead.
so Trevor liked this one in particular, and Joe said, I had the same feeling I had when I first saw boobs.
I mean, we're 15. We just said it.
Trevor was like, click.
Relatable.
Yeah, relatable.
You get 512 likes.
Oh my gosh. I too feel this way. All right. Hated.
Ones are great too. There's some great spelling mistakes in this one.
Okay, perfect. All right, this one's by Jay. He gave it 3.5 stars, which apparently is a hate. I'm not really. It feels like he's apathetic, if anything. It says this review may contain spoilers, so heads up, guys. Okay, he says, how you gonna birth the chosen one with unlimited, undiscovered power, destined to unite civilizations, spelled with an S, civilizations, in the far reaches of the universe, and call him Paul? Okay, that's
Boom!
okay. That one's rude. That's-
42,466 likes. Everyone hates Paul.
I think Paul's a great name. I think it's powerful.
His name's Paul and his mom's Jessica, and everyone else's name like the
naming structure isn't the best.
yeah.
Even Paul Atreides' grandfather is like Paulus, which is like way cooler.
Yeah, way cooler.
Yeah, just Paul. Yeah, it's tough. It's not like a Jim. Actually, the only person in this whole movie has like a weirder name, maybe, is Dakota, Idaho, or what is his name?
Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan, Idaho.
I wanted to get into that. I was just waiting.
What a
to bring
name.
it up,
Well, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
Yeah,
all right. Sorry. Two more. Get through these. This one is half star. It's from Kamla, and she said, Timely has no screen presence for this kind of movie. God bless people who have been brainwashed to think he's a movie star.
Timely.
Timely.
Timolly.
God bless people who know how to spell the name Timothy. The simplest name. Okay, this one's for a half star. This is from M. Day Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
It's a play on M. Night Shyamalan, and it's a close-up picture of his face. It's like super zoomed in. Okay, it says this movie would have been a masterpiece if it wasn't so stupid. Why would the natives of Arrakis need water when Aquaman is in the movie? Just give them water, Aquaman. Boom, problem solved.
Aquaman. M. Day Shyamalan.
M. Day Shyamalan. Just give him water, Aquaman.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Oh, that's good. I have to download Letterboxd. That's funny.
It is funny.
That's a funny thing.
I'm gonna scroll there.
Oh my goodness.
Dune, great movie. It actually grossed only 400 million worldwide. Made by Legendary and Warner Brothers, big ones, right?
Yeah.
165 million, only 65 million more than ENG. That's what we're calling it now. Won 6 Oscars, special visual effects, which I'm pretty sure it also won. No, did it win that this time too? Second one? I think so.
It didn't win anything because it's not.
Oh no, it's going to win next year. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm thinking of
next year.
Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer literally won like all of these same categories.
Yeah, my eyes see Oppenheimer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oppenheimer is definitely. But it was nominated for a bunch of great stuff. Golden Globes, BAFTAs, won a couple BAFTAs, won like I said, 6 Oscars. Denis Villeneuve, the director of Sicario, also an Arrival.
Oh, cool.
He is getting big projects now, and I think especially after how Dune 2 was received. He's gonna be the guy. He's up there with Nolan, I think.
He did Blade Runner 2020 to 2049.
2049
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Underrated flick. I like that
can't
movie.
you?
I feel like.
I actually think the same cinematographer did that too.
I think you're right. The framing is a lot of the same between
color.
These movies, yeah, and the color grading.
Color. Timothy Chalamet, Paul Atreides, Rebecca Ferguson, phenomenal. Lady Jessica, Oscar Isaac, also phenomenal. Duke Leto, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, is one of my favorite actors on the planet.
Yes.
I think Dave Bautista did an incredible job. Zendaya's Chani, even though you barely see her, she's still like you want to see her.
Yeah.
And Hans Zimmer did the music because of course he did. He's everywhere.
Yep. Yeah.
This movie is an absolute great time, but it's not even close as good as the second one. If you haven't seen the second one, watch it. We're going to try not to get too much into that, but go see it. Por favor. Okay, are you guys ready for some IMDb guesses?
I'm ready. PM, you want a refresher on what the amounts are?
Yeah. So can you do me a favor and give me a refresher on all of the ratings, specifically for Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Letterboxd, and I want you to give me a number for each one of them. And then next week I'll ask the same question.
Sounds good. Can do. So Rotten Tomatoes
just so you know, I listened to the last episode. So.
Rotten Tomatoes is out of 100%. IMDb is out of 10, and Letterboxd is out of 5. Good luck. Who wants to go first?
I was literally in the shower listening to this, and I heard that, and I just said, "You son of a bitch!" And I just went back.
And
that's what happens when you don't show up. You get shit on. That's what happens.
It's true. It's true.
That's all we're doing.
We talk that
you
trash.
get shit on when you don't show up.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what it's for.
That's what it's for.
What do you, PM? You go first this time. What do you got for guesses?
I'm gonna say Rotten Tomatoes 98%. IMDb I'm gonna go 9.3 out of 10, and Letterboxd I'm gonna go 4.8 out of 5.
Wrong.
Okay. Okay, and Paul, what do you got?
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna go with a combined score of 81. IMDb, I'm gonna give it a 7.4. And for Letterboxd, I'm gonna go with I don't think people like this actually that much, so I'm gonna go with like a 3.2.
232. Whoa, hey, whoa, hey, you.
Yeah.
The actual scores, Rotten Tomatoes, was an 87 overall. Audience was 90.
Close,
So you
okay.
were pretty close. Just so you know, Dune 2 is in that 98 range.
Oh yeah.
And also the critics are like a 99.
Damn.
Yeah, they really liked it.
Freaking perfect.
IMDb is an 8 flat, which is a good IMDb score. That's a solid,
Okay.
like that's a rewatch movie. The Letterboxd was a little bit more critical with a 3.9. They didn't get over a 4.
Okay. All right.
And usually with Letterboxd, with huge fandoms, people who are like huge fans of certain series like this,
Mhm.
they just go crazy on Letterboxd.
Uh,
So sometimes they can inflate it the same way that people are mean about it.
Yeah, that's
if
what
they
I was
gather
kind of
together
banking
enough.
on was
So,
the
yeah.
super nerd going in there and just going with it, you know?
yes.
My guess was a 4 flat going in, and because I'm like, this has to be a 4, but I don't think it's as good as 2, which
Mhm.
I just seen. So, which got a 4.5, which 4.5 is like legendary status on Letterboxd. It's really hard to do.
That's that seems high.
It's really, really hard to do. So there's only a couple movies there. So we have 87, 8 flat, and then 3.9. I hope the listeners, you got it too. Good job, guys. Fist bump. Visual fist bump. What about the opening? Because we have one of those openings again, and I want to hear you guys' opinions. Take it away.
Well, I would say
Vivian Ward rating.
the Vivian Ward rating for the opening scene. I'm gonna give it like. I really liked it. I really liked it. I'm gonna give it like an 8. It got me kind of jacked up, especially because it's a cold open with just like the dude like throat singing. You know, dreams are echoes from the deep. I think is what it is.
Yeah. Oof.
And it just like sets the freaking tone. You're like, got it. And then they do exposition, but I like how they do exposition like throughout the movie. And I didn't actually realize how much they do. Like they explain quite a bit.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, win that universe. But I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the genre, but I thought that the opening scene set the stage pretty well. I knew what I was getting into, so I'm gonna give it an 8 for me. Obviously, it's
I
for
also
me.
gave it an 8.
My warrant. Yeah.
Because I got excited like the Fellowship of the Ring, but it wasn't quite there because first of all, Vivian throat singing is sick, and for whatever reason that vibe that if you do that, just the most ominous, but also like I don't know, just adrenaline. It's just like I'm about to go into battle when I hear it, right?
Yeah,
I did like that, kind of like the horns in Lord of the Rings. But
so
one thing that they didn't have was Kate Blanchett.
Yeah,
they
didn't
have. They didn't have the theme.
Yeah, the score that went along with it for sure. Yeah,
it was a little bit more expository. Like we have more to explain. We can't really just be like, and this is kind of going on. So it was kind of a little bit longer than it was slightly lower, but still that I still got a lot of those same feelings.
Agreed. Yeah.
Cam, what do you got?
I'm trying to remember it because obviously I watched Dune 2, and so I'm trying not to mix them up. I believe it had like all I remember was like a guy with like a sniper.
Got the sniper
sitting on the sand somewhere. Like he had some sort of gun or something, but no, I don't think it was like an incredible opening scene. I think obviously the God, what is the musical instrument that they use? The big tube one.
They used a bunch. Oh, I see. You mean like a Tibetan giant curved thing? Yeah, I'm not sure what that's called. I know you're talking about.
Tibetan horn.
Tibetan horn.
I know. I know exactly what it is, but like I'm just blanking on the name. But like, yeah, I mean, it's it makes you feel like you're in a sci-fi movie the minute it hits. So I get it, but it doesn't set you up for anything. You don't understand anything. This is this movie. As we go along and we discuss about it, I think the common theme is you have to rewatch it again.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So
that's fair.
Watching the opening scene, I was like, who is this? What is occurring? What is going on? Okay. Sounds good. And then all of a sudden we switch and I'm like, oh, sounds good. Yep,
that's a good
on
point.
to the next thing.
Yeah.
Right. So
we do have the hindsight benefit that helps us with this intro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point. Yeah, that's a good point. There's no way, right? This is happening.
Oh, hello.
Right, you hear that?
What is that?
Okay, never
yeah.
mind. It's okay, whatever. There'll be a gentle hum behind me. I apologize for that if you heard the leaf blower that decides it needs to be right outside my window right this moment. But
Yard work takes no breaks.
what about the Ents attack
Oh my
as
gosh.
our best scenes? Because I have one that I really, really enjoyed. But the interesting thing too about this movie is like I feel like the acts are pretty clearly defined. Like they're not in Arrakis, and then they're in Arrakis, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's the the betrayal. Right, those are the three acts.
Yes.
And so one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when the at the beginning of the third act when the betrayal is happening, and how we get a really cool idea of like who is doing what. Very ominous. You know something's going on, but you don't know what for a while. So there's a lot of tension. And then the way that they highlight like how the shields work and with the paralyzing dart and how it slowly works its way in and stuff,
Yeah. Yes.
which I love. I love the way they did the shields in the movie. Just to anyone who knows, because a lot of people don't know this somehow, is the reason they have shields like this. They developed these shields and then they stopped using small firearms because nothing it couldn't get in there. So they had to like bow and arrows are like the only thing they could use, and they weren't very good. So they just started doing hand to hand combat because they couldn't anything moving too fast would be blocked by the shields. And so they kind of went backwards in technology, which is super interesting. And they showed that in this movie really, really well. But the betrayal scene from Leto, the Duke, figuring it out, all the way to him breaking his tooth.
Yeah.
I thought was a really cool sequence. And I remember sitting forward like, oh my God.
Yeah. Dialed
What's
in.
going on?
Yes.
So I really like that. That was my big one.
Yeah. I agree. I also like that general sequence. I would say that favorite scenes are probably going to be either excuse me. Probably either when what is Thanos' name? What is his
Josh Brolin.
Oh.
Well, yeah, Josh Brolin. Yeah.
But
Gurney.
His character.
Gurney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gurney, yeah.
When Gurney God, get me so freaking jacked up. When Gurney and all the Atreides soldiers like wake up, right? And they're just like running with their swords out. And you just see like these mortars coming down and like, yeah, they're like slowly going through the shields and how the ship blows up, but the shield contains it for a second and then it blows through the shield. And also just the sense of scale, how big those ships are compared to the Gurney and like his men running. And it's so epic like that. And then he's like, with me. And then they all charge and you're just like, you just get so freaking jacked up.
Yeah.
That whole sequence of that. And then immediately following where the Atreides guards or soldiers are like on the stairs. And they're, and they're fighting the Harkonnen below and they're like beating the Harkonnen's ass. And they're like, oh, the Harkonnen's like, oh shit. Like there's like 15 of these guys. And like, oh, they're really good. And then the Sardaukar drop down behind them like little bitches and wipe them out. But that whole scene, incredible. I think I had the most fun. I was on the edge of my seat for that whole scene. And a close second for me is Duncan Idaho in the frickin' in the hallway doorway thing. He's just clapping cheeks. Just everybody took down like 25 guards on his own. He didn't care. All Sardaukar. Like, oh, I was just like, and the salute over the heart and then the head. Yeah. Clearly was jacked up about it. Those are my favorite scenes. I kind of want to watch it again. So good.
I mean, that's pretty much the Ants Attack Arziger right there. Like,
yeah.
That's exactly what I got from that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, best scene, I don't know. That's like a 9 out of 10 for me. That gets me going. Gets me up in the morning.
PM.
Yes.
PM, dude. Come on, hop
in,
brother.
Scenes?
Hop in.
I'm just running through all of them in my head. I think one of them that really stands out was the I can't remember how it led up to this. I'll try to remember it, but it was the flying through the sandstorm.
Oh yeah.
When it was like, I believe it was like his first time flying the machine or something like that. And he just had this moment of like, let it go.
Yeah.
And he just pulls off obviously the most ballsy move in history of Dune by just letting an aircraft go through a storm on its own, right? And then it ends up surviving. That was a really good scene because the entire time you were just like, yeah, this is giving me anxiety. This is a good scene.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I think obviously just the fights, like I think kind of the big Harkonnen invasion is definitely one of the best ones, just because there was so much going on, and there just was so much to it. And Hans Zimmer, like his score throughout the entire thing was incredible. That's what I kind of went away with this whole movie, was like, wow, he dominated this score. Like this was built for him. So those two for sure. I'm trying to think of a third one, because I do agree with the one with Duncan Idaho fighting in the hallway. I thought that was kind of funny. He gave like a little smirk and then like went to it. I think that was probably going to be my other one. And trying to think of the Baron coming up for the first time. Like you said, the pill from Leto in the tub was a good one. The one where he puts his hand in the box with what's her name?
Oh yeah, the Bene Gesserit woman. The Reverend Mother. Yep.
Yeah. All I kept thinking about is, what does that box do?
Bro. Yeah. Also,
like, what would it feel like?
Nerves.
That's what
your fingers.
Timothy Chalamet had to think about while he was acting. The man's hand is just in a box, and he's like going through it. You're like, oh damn, that's gotta hurt so bad. Nothing's happening. You know what I mean? Like,
nothing's happening.
That's pretty impressive acting, I thought, from old Timothy.
He gives a great interview about that too. I'll link it. I'll find it and show it to you guys, because he talks about how intimidating the actor is he's working with too. So he used that. He was actually kind of afraid to mess up.
Really?
Yeah. So he tried to use that. He's like, because she's like a legend.
Oh,
yeah, it's crazy. He's like, she's so intense that she's actually kind of like, she was doing such a good
he
job.
He had to give himself anxiety.
Yeah,
much.
He's like, it wasn't actually as hard as it looks like it was.
Oh.
Because I was kind of shitting bricks. But then when his face changes, yeah, it's really good. And I think that's when he convinced me that like he can do it, because I'm like, dude, look how little he is.
Yeah, like this
he's just so little
child. Yeah.
But let's actually get into characters too. PM, if you want to roll over, let's take this right away, because I want to hear who your favorite guys are.
Who are my favorite characters in the movie?
Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character, or maybe just characters if there's a couple?
Oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Because he was in the second one.
The Fremen dude.
Fremen. Yeah, he's the super religious guy. Stilgar. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, incredible. Just him. No one else. Him. Yes.
I do love Stilgar.
He's great. I believe he's in Sicario too. I think that's when they've worked together.
Oh, really?
Before him and Denny, yeah. So like, I was like, what do I know him from? Because he's like a really intense dude, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe he's one of the guys.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, Javier Bardem.
Okay.
No,
stuff, man.
Oh yeah, he's the dude that looks like the other dude.
Yeah, he looks like somebody else, which is what a lot of people thought it was.
Like, yeah, he looks like Brad Garrett. I guess his name is Brad Garrett. Dude, that's weird. Yeah, they look exactly the same. They're the same person.
Doppelgangers. Didn't know that. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
Stilgar. I think especially if you were talking about the second one, I think that he would be almost unanimous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Carried it.
I think
he didn't carry it.
Having watched the second one informed my information on him, or formed my opinion on him a little bit. So it's kind of maybe a little bit unfair, but
yeah,
I still really liked his character. He was like, especially when he gets wrecked by Jessica. Yeah. He's like, peace, woman. I judge tastily. Like, you just tried to kill me, man.
Everyone down. They're like, we should kill him anyways. He's like, easy. They beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'm the leader and I lost. You think you're gonna do good? Like,
exactly.
He's like, come on, guys. I know it's embarrassing. Can we stop talking about it?
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, he's great. Oh, what do you got? Who's your number one?
Yeah, my number one character that I loved was actually probably either Jessica. I really liked her character. I loved her, at least how she was written and everything. There's like 17 different languages I feel like that are spoken in the movie.
And they say them all. They say all the words.
They freaking it's awesome.
Them.
I like her vulnerability as like a mother, and then like her also conflict with being like a Bene Gesserit, like a nun type of deal. I bought her relationship with Leto. I felt like that was actually, they don't spend a ton of time together, but I felt like she sold it. Like I was like, yeah, they're in love. I get that.
Yeah.
Um,
Also
I just,
complicated.
what's that?
It's also complicated. She kind of was chosen for him.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, they developed something. They have a relationship, obviously.
So I like Jessica a lot. No, it's kind of like she wasn't as like dynamic of a character, but I thought she was an interesting character to watch on screen. And then also, I just really like Duncan Idaho. Idaho.
literally the state. Just the state of Idaho.
Brad,
Rich,
Oklahoma.
I think
it was my other.
I think we should talk about that name now. I don't think we should beat around that bush. I think we should talk about it.
What was he doing? Was he just like out on a?
Yeah,
you know, he's like, I have writer's block. And then he just went into the wilderness in Idaho. He's like, Idaho.
Even why am I blanking on the actual actor's name?
Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even he came out and he said the worst named character he ever had was Duncan Idaho.
Yeah. Not only that,
he was so like, it makes no sense.
It took away from it. I like Duncan too. I like, just give him something cool for the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Idaho is Duncan is fine. I can deal with Duncan, but Idaho together, those two, awful.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like, what are we doing?
Awful. It's so weird. It's weird because like it kind of has, it almost is immersion breaking in a way. Because you're like, I'm in this universe. It's like 20,000 years in the future, but somehow the name Jessica has survived the eons
exactly,
of nomenclature. Like
Paul, Jessica, Duncan.
Like,
but that's it. Then we have Leto, which is a cool name.
Leto's a very cool name. A very cool name. So I don't understand it. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I know it took him a long time to write these books.
Yeah.
Like, it did. So he could have just been in different, like, you know what I mean, headspaces. Could have been done like 10 years apart.
Yeah.
And he's just like, let's try to show the eons or something through their names. Yeah, Jessica. But the nice thing is, Jessica's real name is Jessica.
That is nice.
Jessica Ferguson. So like she could, at least that was easy. And I thought Jessica Ferguson was probably, she is just a scooch above Duncan for me, because during the box scene, like when Timothy, because that was a great performance out of Timothy. By the way, Timothy gave a great performance, and he convinced me over time.
Isn't her name Rebecca Ferguson?
Yeah.
Is it Rebecca? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's
Rebecca.
Dude, I love this podcast.
Jessica to Rebecca. There's still the Ka, and it's still a 1990s name. So
if you want a show real quick to watch, Apple TV Silo. She's the main character. Watch that.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a crush on her now. So
yes, please watch it.
You will still. She's very similar. Tim Robbins is in it. Common's in it. It's pretty.
Common's in it, and he's the worst actor I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, he's not great in this show. He should have been cast as something else. Yeah, I don't think he did a good job.
He definitely bribed his way into that.
He's the Duncan Idaho of the Silo. But I love Duncan Idaho because he's just like the nice dude who's just the best fighter, and he's just like brave and whatever. Like he's the hero's journey guy, which is awesome, and I always love those guys. And I think that you couldn't pick someone better. But during the box with Rebecca Ferguson, during the box scene when she's outside the door, like fidgeting with her hands and visually upset, I was like, this is real. She's doing a great job. She didn't even have a box to fake, right? She's just really scared right now because she's like she's being pulled so hard in two directions, which is crazy, because that's her whole life's mission was to condition her son or her daughter that ended up being a son, and now she like loves him and like doesn't really want him to have to do this.
Sure.
Now he has to do this, and
was like almost certain to die doing it.
Yeah, like there's a very low chance this works out with him like achieving what he needs to achieve and also living.
Yeah,
like, there's just no way. So something bad's probably gonna happen, and but at that point she's like, please just don't die right now. Yep. So yeah, I thought she was great, and then I love Oscar Isaac. I think he was a great cast for Duke Leto. I think he plays like the honorable, but like not necessarily. He's still part of a shitty system that he very clearly understands is shitty. He's like, yes, we absolutely are like trying to completely, steal all your resources. However, I want to have as little of an impact on your lives as humanly possible. Like they're gonna kill me if I don't do this, but
Yeah.
I will do it as to the best I can and listen to you guys at least. Like,
Yes.
and that, I mean that's
He's honorable.
kind of all of us, right? We're all just like we're just doing our best.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, you're
appreciated
rooting
that.
for him. You're rooting
for him. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And Oscar Isaac's great. I think he's great. I think he does. He's got a good range and he's a good actor, and I really enjoyed him. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Jessica crushed it, and then we get into the second one, and then she crushes it again. So if you haven't seen it, go watch
Oh
it.
my god, so good.
So we don't have to do names here, but I wanted to talk about music just this time because it's Hans Zimmer, and
Mhm.
just maybe a moment where there was a part of the score playing that people can identify with, because it's even if you say the names of the songs, people aren't going to know.
Yes.
So for me, and I hope I don't steal this, I probably do, but
Yeah.
I didn't
You
go
probably
first
will.
last time. But it's When They Land on Arrakis.
You didn't steal it then.
It's the bagpipes.
Yes. Yes.
So when they play bagpipes, and it's
That's
like
cool.
in that kind of weird like 5-chord harmony going where it's just really big and crazy. Which I actually didn't know this either. So my wife's family, Kate, you guys know Kate. Everyone knows Kate. Kate's
Mhm.
family is Scottish. Like they have Scottish roots. So they're like, actually, this is based on like this. The Atreides are like Scotland or the British Isles. They're the British, but they're like Scotland is their kind of heritage.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's based on, and I don't know if you got the Harkonnen like Russian vibe.
Yeah.
The guy's name's Vladimir. Like, so they tried to go with that, so they went with bagpipes, and I thought it fit great. So bravo, Mr. Zimmer. Please come to the United States and do a tour. I want to go see a live orchestra performance of all your music. Thank you.
Thank you.
Isn't he doing a show? And it's I think he's touring now.
He does tour. He actually tours pretty
Yeah.
regularly. It's just
And they
he's only
sell
in
out.
Europe most of the time.
Yeah,
They
they
sell
sell like
fast.
I think he's doing an American tour and it's sold
Oh.
out in like a heartbeat.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of those ones where I'll play Ticketmaster's game.
Yeah.
To go to one of those. I'll do that.
I'll play their game.
I'll get gouged out. I'll get my eyes gouged out by their prices. I don't care.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I feel like I'm going to steal PMs though, because it's
You can let him go first if you want yours stolen. Up to you.
You know what? I will. PM, you go first.
I can't remember if there was truly a score behind it, but I remember the ambiance of it, and that was kind of when, oh my god, I blank on the name, but it starts with an S. When they do when the evil guys do like their battle preparations.
Oh yeah, the Sardaukar.
Yeah,
the throat
like
singing.
it's super dark, and
Mhm.
like the people are talking on their voice, and the rain is perfect, and there's kind of this low pitch hum going on with like a bass. Like what's in the music world is called a drone pad. So it's just low drone pad that's just consistent throughout the entire thing. You just sat there and you were like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good sci-fi. Like this is what I needed.
It had the clones like the the clones in, well, I mean, I guess the clones stole this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He stole this for the clones in Star Wars, but it's very similar. Like when they were preparing all the clones to go to war.
Yes.
And they were all on the rainy planet, whatever that one was called. It had that same kind of vibe for me.
I agree. It's good. Okay. We did not steal each other's. It's really good. I can't, it's tough for me because I'm misremembering because I'm remembering it from Dune 2, but in Dune 1, when they have the Dune woman singing, Laurie Kotler. Oh my goodness. I mean, that is a heck of a scream. Like the classic, not the classic, but the one that's most recognizable for Dune, of her doing that like broken scream of that made up language is yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Actually, Trevor, if you want to put it in post, put it in post.
What's the Portishead? Oh my god, what's that band? Is it Portishead? Yeah, it's like you guys should listen to that.
Portishead.
To that. Yeah, it's this like
Portishead.
band from like the 90s, but it kind of has that weird, like it's not really rock, but it's kind of like
I know you're
futurist.
Talking about.
Yeah, like it like, and so that singing you're talking about is kind of like what they go off of.
Oh, okay.
It's like folk.
Yeah.
It's like a cross between it, because it feels very Middle Eastern, but also has that like folk, like honestly Scottish folk music. Like,
yeah.
Florence and the Machine, like deep
Ah.
in the throat, but it's like in a more, but it's put on music that is from the desert. Oh my God, is that how he came up with it? That's probably how. So that's
probably.
yeah, it's great. But that's their like I talk about with Lord of the Rings when they had the na 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 at the beginning. Like that's their version. I feel like that's the most identifiable. You hear that, you're like Dune, Dune. This is Dune.
This is
you know it
Dune.
immediately.
Yes.
And they do it a lot in the second one. Yeah, you're right. But when that first comes on, I think it's after they get to Arrakis. Is the first time we hear it.
Yeah, it's definitely when they're in Arrakis. I think I feel like it's after they sack like the city and kill everyone. I think it's after that. That I feel like that's right. It might even be music. When the doctor, I can't remember that character's name, the doctor or the person who's in charge of the change, Judge of Change, is about to ride a sandworm.
Yeah.
I think it plays then. It's so freaking badass. So it just gets me jacked up. I don't know what I want to do, but I want like a knife. I want one of those shields. Gets me all types of freaking jerked up. Yeah. So I really like that. Also, you should definitely watch. I watched an interview with not with Hans Zimmer, but it was someone else who helped organize the music for that. And he's with the people he selected. So the guy who's in charge of it selected Laurie Kotler, and then this other dude who's basically looks like Blanca from Street Fighter.
Okay.
and they're so eccentric. I mean, the most eccentric musicians you've ever seen. And they're like, I mean, no one else can do what I do. And they're just very like into themselves. It's a good time. I love that interview. But it's
I gotta check that out too.
Yeah, it's fun. So anyway, she nails it though. Even as eccentric as she is, nails that like ethereal shouting. Again,
ethereal shouting.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call it. But
there we go. I love it. Love it so much. How about quotes? I have a quick one. I have one quote.
One quote.
When it was more of a delivery of a line.
Okay.
And it was in the beginning with Gurney when he's fighting with Paul, and he's like, you've never fought Harkonnens. I have. They're not human. They're brutal. When he says brutal,
yeah,
I'm like, dude,
yeah,
great. But like behind, like Denis was behind the camera, was like, yes, like we got that. That was it. That was it. He did it. You could almost see it on his face. He's like, I nailed that.
That's really good. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that one. That one's super hair good.
Back of the neck. I'm like, what are we about to experience?
Yeah, they're not human. They're
going to be like
brutal.
He says it, and it's like it made me want to like, if you weren't paying attention, like if your dad was talking to you and then he goes brutal, you'd be like, oh, what?
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It locked me in. I was locked in from that moment on. I was going to miss 1 second of the movie.
That's freaking good. Damn. I totally forgot about that because you're absolutely right. The way he delivers the word brutal is like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't want to.
Sticks with you.
Shit. Yeah.
One of those lines.
Yeah, really.
It's like crispy bacon. It's like that.
Crispy bacon. Okay. I like that. PM, why don't you go? I don't want to steal any of yours.
I can't remember any.
Okay. Yeah.
No, this is one of the movies where I feel like, there was a lot of great quotes, but a lot of this movie to me wasn't about the script writing in more about the visuals and the score. Like, I think it did, I think we'll get into it in a bit because there's obviously a topic about this, but I don't know. Some of the writing was pretty boring. So
I think that's why I went with delivery for sure, because it fit in to the vibe, which it was really, really strong.
Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, I think my favorite quote probably comes from my boy Duncan, Idaho. And I wrote it down here. Where the heck is it? Duncan, Idaho. And he's talking about Paul and him are talking. It's when they first meet, when we first meet Duncan, they're talking about dreams. He says, dreams make good stories, but everything important happens when we're awake. It's kind of like a subtle thing. And I feel like on a rewatch, it means more.
Yeah.
because we know about all the visions and dreams that Paul has and everything that is important. Yeah, like it's almost like a misdirect. It's almost like Paul's an unreliable narrator because you keep getting these like visions. You're like, oh, that's gonna happen. Oh, that's gonna happen. He's like, I don't even know if it's gonna happen. I'm high as shit. Like I'm on spice. You know what I mean? These freaking all these different things are happening, but then like they kind of happen, then they don't kind of happen. So I just thought that was a very grounding statement by Duncan in that moment. Like everything important happens when we're awake. So I don't know. I know it's kind of like not as dramatic, as
Pretty dramatic,
brutal, but it's still I thought it was
pretty dramatic. I mean, you could go with Leto saying, "Hey, you know, you're my son. You're everything I ever needed you to be."
Oh,
Like, yeah.
dude, that one hit me.
That was a good one too. And I was
Come
like,
on.
I'm so glad that this isn't going to be one of those things.
Yes,
I don't have to worry about that theme.
Yep. Yes, and that's that's what makes it so hard. Like, I wish there was some sort of alternate universe of Dune where like the Atreides like do well, and I see them do well because I just want to root for them. Like, they're all great.
Yeah,
There's no one not likable on the Atreides side. So you just like want to see them do well, and they get slaughtered. It's just classic.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and even that, even after it was over, I'm like, I still don't believe the Harkonnens were good enough to pull this off.
No,
because they just feel like bumbling idiots to me the whole time. But Skarsgård,
oh
goddamn,
my word,
give this man some awards.
Oh,
from that and his freaking monologue in Andor. Come on.
Oh,
anyway,
chills
for another time because I want to get into this. I love this category. I want to get in this category. I want to add this category to movies that are universally beloved because I feel like there are things to nitpick in anywhere. So this is nitpicking the little things or big things.
Okay,
things you didn't like, plot holes, castings, shots, editing, anything. Because there's even in the best movies, there's silly ass stuff.
Sure,
there's bad CGI every once in a while. There's a bad edit or whatever. So nitpicks. Paul, do you want to start on this one? Do you have any nitpicks? You got anything that maybe you're like, come on? It's a movie after all, and it's Dune. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, the obvious one. I feel like it's just the gosh darn the awful names. They're tough. They suck me out of it sometimes. It's like Jessica. Like, okay, yeah. I'm a big fan of Paul. I think that's cool. It's a solid name, strong, probably timeless. You know, I see people being named Paul 20,000 years from now.
Atreides is a pretty cool.
Atreides is a badass name.
Yeah,
I like that one a lot. But I would say that really the only thing that took me out of it, and I don't know, because as much as I understand it was dialogue heavy, and you're like, there's too much talking. They tell you right off the rip. They're like, it's part one, bitch. Like it's the first part. You know, there's a lot of dialogue set up because a part two is coming, and part two delivered on the freaking action. I feel like there was a lot of action, in that one. So the talking didn't bother me. I also really like dialogue, so that's part of the reason I like Andor is pretty dialogue heavy. But just the names, the names. It was like some guy's name like Jeff, or it's like what? Come on. This guy. Oh, and honestly, the name Vladimir, I was like, really? Like Vladimir?
On the nose.
The little,
But and then his like nephew's name, Dave Bautista's name is
Robin or something. Rabin?
No, Galossu Raban.
Yeah.
Like so there's a lot of like real names, and then there's a lot of this made up shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Like that's what I'm saying. And there's very little in between. It's just like crazy made up like names or a chick in your middle school math class. You know, like I agree 100% with that critique.
Yeah, that's my nitpick. That's all I got. Really.
PM's got some though. I'm excited. You got me excited for this.
Oh yeah, this should be called a PM
I got a few.
section.
I think the names are a pretty easy one to nitpick. It's just it's hard to really get engulfed when I think the issue that I have is obviously this movie or this book was the reason why Star Wars became a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm struggling to like watch both of these films. I won't say anything about the second one, but I'm struggling to watch both of these films and not compare it to Star Wars. Or not find some some similarities to it. So
sure.
Outside of the name Luke in Star Wars, every single name is pretty unique. right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, like those are all really cool, unique names. And so I
Mhm.
think the naming convention in this kind of, you know, ruins a lot. I'm not a fan of Timothy Chalamet or Zendaya. I don't like their acting styles. I particularly don't like Zendaya. I'm not a fan of things that she's in. I don't get it,
Wow.
but to each their own. So that's fine.
What is happening?
Granted, she wasn't in this movie for that long, so that's totally fair. But
Yeah.
I don't look at Timothy Chalamet as um this hero character. I kind of look at him like a bitch,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
like a Michael Sarah if he was more attractive.
Mm.
It's the
Not
way
saying
you
that like
lingered on bitch for me.
yeah. Not saying that he's probably a great guy, and I should take that back. Like I apologize, and like I'm sure he's really
Theater
nice,
kid.
and
Oh, yeah.
he's just yeah. I just don't see a 5'11", 125-pound soaking wet kid being
Mhm.
this
Badass.
holy leader, right?
Yeah.
To all these men who, and especially you know him growing up privileged and stuff like. Anyways,
Yeah. Weird jab at people
that
who are 5'11" and under, by the way.
yeah, exactly.
Shitty. Yeah. Okay.
So that was one of my issues with it, but I get it probably had to align with the book.
Mhm.
And another one is this is one of those movies that you cannot watch once. Because the plot, while the plot is great when you watch it a second time, you watch it the first time and you leave going, what actually happened? I don't know what happened. Like that's what like I left the first time watching this. I was like, I don't really understand what any of this is. Like, I don't know. Like, I know who's evil and I know who's good, but
I
like,
don't know why.
I don't know
Yeah,
why, and I
yeah.
don't
Why.
understand the solution at the end of this movie.
Mhm.
And I think that was a huge turnoff for me in the movie. But watching it the second time, I was like, oh, okay, now like because you know what's gonna happen this you know the second time. You
Mhm.
go, oh, okay, now I know why this is happening, and you know that's gonna set up for this, and so it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the moment, I was just like, I don't know where we are. Are we
That's
on
fair.
a different planet? Are we on the same planet? Is this
Yeah.
like a different language? Is this a different whole like set of people? Are the people in the sand evil and the people who are not in the sand not? Like I was just it was very confusing.
Yes.
So you know, but that there is a thing I feel like in movies where they kind of need to set up the universe, and I feel like this movie I remember leaving it thinking, okay, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't think it was as great as everyone wanted it to be. But I remember telling my dad, this is going to make the second one much better because
Yeah.
now we understand what's
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
And then the second and the third and the fourth are going to be like boom, 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 action in your face.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is there going to be 4, by the way?
That's a good take.
Oh no, I'm just assuming
There's
they're
going to be
going
3.
to.
There's a third one.
At least 3. Yeah.
So by the way, there's
Yeah.
like 18 books and a bunch of them are weird. But like this is going to be the first. So that 1 and 2 are the first book.
Mhm.
Up to where we are is just the book. And then the second, I think they're going to take like they're going to go through, they're not going to take all the material because there's some weird storylines that they're just like, how are we even going to do that and make people not be like, what is happening?
Yeah.
There's some odd stuff that's supposed to happen and they want to stay on the same kind of storyline. So just beware, be ready for that. But I will say the same as Lord. So I Lord of the Rings is the trilogy of all trilogies for me. Obviously, the first movie was good. It's good. It's a 4 out of 5 star for me. Right, but the
Mhm.
other 2 are better because it was set up. Like we got
Yeah.
now we have a very clear idea of what the stakes are, and now it feels. And then the second, and third one, the stakes felt big finally, and that's I think what happened with the second one too.
Agreed.
Like the people started to get involved, where it was like, oh, this is like he's actually going to come in conflict with the powers that be that he said he's going to. We're going to see some of this stuff come to a head. But one of my nitpicks for this movie and for honestly the whole series is the amount of crap that is like talked about in these books. It's like reading the Silmarillion, but every book. Like the amount of stuff they're talking about is just like the number of names
Yeah.
and places and people betraying other people and that are just kind of alluded to and then don't really, it's just context. And then like you know, things changing in their in strategies and tactics stuff kind of just over time because they're guessing like it's supposed to be like months and months later. So,
Mhm.
but like it's not really gone into depth in the book. So in the movies, he was like, "What do I do? How do I show time passing?" Because they just say, and then time passed in the books, but you can't just throw that up on the screen. They're like, you have to find ways to do it. in a world where kind of everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And he struggled with, it's just hard to do. That's why this movie has been done so bad like 4 times already. It's because it's just really hard to do. And this is probably as good as it can get in terms of that. I will even say in the second one, I had I had this weird pacing feeling in my head. I'm like, why do I feel like I'm in fast forward right now? But I guess that it turns out that was on purpose. Not to spoil, that doesn't spoil anything. I was just, it was all no one else felt it. I just felt it. I was like, there's a lot happening. But then again, I look back on it, I was like, I'm actually glad a lot happening. That actually is what they wanted me to feel, which is awesome.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Which in a year when we're talking about that movie, we'll get into that. But my nitpicks, my big one was also Chalamet. Just like when he's fighting with Gurney in the beginning and he wins, he's like, I got you, old man. I'm like, you would never get him. He'd just push you over. No offense. You're just too small. You're not big enough.
Get him.
Like,
yeah.
It doesn't address like he's a great fighter and he's highly trained, blah, blah. I'm like, I get it, but he doesn't have the physical strength to do the things he's doing. He doesn't yet.
Yeah.
Like, he just doesn't. He's not a very big person. And so it was hard for me to be like, hey, he's a badass fighter. Okay, is he? So he never really like struggles fighting at any point. And he wins every fight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He doesn't really get like where it's like you think he's gonna lose, which is weird because it's Timothée Chalamet, and I just don't feel like he's gonna win every fist fight he's in. So that was a little bit meh for me. But like every time he was like really perceptive and like noticed something, that I believed. That was Timothée Chalamet for me. When he was like Sherlock Holmes, when he saw the bug come through the wall, and when he like tried to step back and like stayed calm and stuff, I was like, that part of it I believe about his character. I think he's doing really well. It's just the physical stuff. And then there was a couple things where I'm like, why are the leaders of these, like, why is the Harkonnen Baron coming with them?
What do you mean?
On this fight? Like, why is he here while they're invading? Because the leaders of these factions are like going to the place that they still have their home world. Why is he always on Arrakis?
I guess they kind of like need to be there. I
guess, but he doesn't do anything. He just tells them where to go. Like, you know what I mean? He's not fighting. So I'm like, I don't really know why. You're not
I think it made sense for Vladimir to be there because he was like wanted to see Leto die.
Yeah, I
like
guess.
he wanted that moment.
They did strip him naked too. He wanted to mutilate him.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that's why. But there was like a couple of things, but that's just movie stuff. Like you have the character in there, or whatever, and it just like it's part of the thing. But other than that, like I thought the shields were awesome.
Oh, so
I
good.
Loved how they did that because the shields in the original movie are freaking hilarious.
Dude, fun fact about that is they had to for those shields in the original movie, they had to rotoscope or magic mask if you use DaVinci Resolve. Rotoscope every single frame.
Yeah.
Every single frame. And when you see like
this is pre-AI, by the way.
Way pre.
Thank you.
Thanks. So they actually had to do the work.
They did. Yeah, they had to actually do the work. Yeah. This is pre-AI in the 80s. So yeah, it's fascinating. And like when you see like a black line on the actual shield from the 80s, that's where they misaligned the rotoscope. Like I
love that.
It's very it's pretty cool.
I guess it took months and months and months. I actually seen that too, which is crazy.
I have to read this thing. So I was just on I was like, oh, who could replace Timothy? Like who would I was trying to Google who would be a good replacement, and someone had a Reddit a post that was like, it's obviously why they casted him in the new Dune movie. They're aiming for sequels. Says it takes every few years to make one. He's going to grow a lot. And someone responded with, he's 25. He's not 14. He's not growing any more than he is right now. Like I love the thought of like, in 10 years he's going to be this full grown adult. He is an adult. Like he's like 29 now. Like he's not going to get any older looking, which is why it's so weird to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't think he was the right casting for it.
I will agree with both of you in that he physically not impressive at all.
Yes.
He's very cerebral actor, and I think he nailed every other part other than the physical aspect of it. You're right.
That was one of the things they maybe just trade off. You know, trade off. Yeah.
Now, can I say something that's about the second movie, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to give my opinion on something.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to give my opinion. The casting was terrible.
Really? Terrible?
Yes. Terrible. And I will tell you why after, but like no. The casting was not good, dude. It was not good.
In 2.
Okay. Yes, in
What
2.
could he possibly think? Let us know in the Discord what could he possibly mean.
That's a good one. Yes. I'll leave it at that. I'll tell you guys after. So.
Or in the comments on the YouTube video. I actually kind of want to know what your guesses are, and we'll give you a nod.
Yeah.
If you're right, how about that?
In defense of Timothée Chalamet, I will say one thing. He is about as physically impressive as the original actor from 1989 or whatever it was. I mean, like, this guy also is not very impressive physically, but I mean, it looks like he could be, like, Timothée Chalamet could be this guy's son. So they're pretty similar. But I agree.
Plot twist.
Yeah, he's not. Also, that kind of leads me to real quick. One of my also favorite scenes I totally forgot about is actually when Paul Atreides is fighting Jamis.
Yeah.
I love that scene. It's really good. Like, again, you kind of make Timothée Chalamet like this amazing fighter. I just nailed my mic with my hand. And when he like asks him like to yield, and Jamis just loses it, and Stilgar is like, is he taunting him? And he's like, Paul's never killed a man. I loved that scene. That was like really visceral, because Jamis is like, he almost just killed me 3 times and could have done it, but didn't, and he's like losing his shit.
He's pissed.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was
the worst thing he could do.
Yes, I thought that scene was awesome.
That was really good for showing us a lot about the Fremen too. Fremen, sorry.
Yeah, Fremen.
Also, name of them, Fremen. You just took an E off. Really?
It's true. I didn't think about that.
Just a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
Huber. Come on, man. What are we doing?
You can do better.
But you know what? It was early sci-fi. He was like, I am writing the craziest thing ever right now. I got to keep something.
Yeah, the dude was on
people
Spice.
Understand. So let's keep some names and kind of close to best here, just so the people will read it.
Exactly.
And guess what? No one still read it. Did you know that the publisher of the first Dune book, the only thing they published was auto repair magazines, books like
what?
Like auto repair like manuals was the only thing they did.
Oh.
And a guy read it at a publishing like conference. It was like, I'll publish it. It sold like 500 copies.
Wow, I did not know that.
Didn't become popular for like 15 years after that.
Huh.
How crazy is that?
Star Wars said, "We'll take this."
Yeah.
And then George Lucas is a huge fan, right? And he did take a lot of it. And he did do a lot of his own research. But I also think that George Lucas, way better namer. I think you're right. That's probably one of the more iconic things about Star Wars is the way that they name things. Like the names of things are, people remember them. All their characters are
Tatooine,
Yoda, like
Yoda.
It's just like there's nothing like
Darth
that, but it's
Vader.
very easy to
like,
say.
come on.
Yeah, it's just good.
Yeah,
Darth. The entire word Darth just feels so, I don't know, evil. I love it.
Darth. Yeah,
I love
exactly.
it so much. So yeah, that's Dune, guys. Final ratings. I shall go first.
Go ahead.
I will give Dune an 8 also. I will match IMDb. It's a nice 8. I do watch it fairly regularly. It's like I'll watch Avengers Endgame if it's around, or like on a plane or something. I'll watch it again. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's one of those movies, but I think
it's an AMC movie, like on a channel on AMC or
TNT
whatever.
or
solid flick. But it's like okay, I want to watch the other ones, so I want to watch this. I gotta watch this one first.
Yeah,
what it is.
I agree. I'm also going to give it an 8. Very rewatchable. I enjoyed I was still on the edge of my seat, from some of the scenes, and with the context now of Dune 2, makes it more enjoyable. In the same way, I think Fellowship is more enjoyable because of Return of the King and the Two Towers. So,
agree.
I had a good time watching it. Good time. Now that I know what's going on.
I kind of agree with you guys. I think it's a good movie. Like, I don't want to say it's a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, probably closer to 7. I just think there were a lot of things when I first watched it that just kind of turned me off a little bit. But I think the second go around, I was like, yeah, this is good. Like this makes sense now. And especially after watching the second one, right? But if this was a standalone film, I don't think it would be as significant throughout the years. I think it's one of those that you need to watch all 3, if when the third one comes out, obviously. So I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. All right. I think we know who our cynic is in the podcast,
You gotta have one.
Yeah.
That's why we have a
Petty
nitpicks.
Pete,
We're just
baby.
gonna call it PM's category.
No, it's Petty Pete.
Petty Pete.
Petty,
Ooh!
Petty Pete's nitpicks.
Mhm.
Petty Pete's nitpicks. It's in. That's what it's called now. I love it.
Crushed it.
Yes. Paul, you want to take us out?
Let's freaking take us out, man. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the May Contain Action podcast, episode 18 with Dune Part 1. Go see Dune Part 2. Do yourself a favor. Go see Dune Part 2. It's outstanding. We freaking love it. Also, be sure to check out our coffee. Ko-Fi? I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
Coffee.
Go freaking check it out. It's coffee. You get some bonus material there. Also, our other podcast, Obsessed. Get some early access to that because we do actually have some new gadgets to talk about soon. I know PM does. We're talking about those very soon. Be sure to give us 5 stars wherever you can. Leave a review. Let us know what you thought of Dune. And is Timothée Chalamet going to get any bigger? You know, probably not.
We'll find out.
He's 40. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.